Well, Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton opening their doors to all the outsiders in hopes to win over those independents.
We will be the big tent party. Reagan Democrats and independents and Republicans.
The millions of people across our country supporting this campaign, not just Democrats, but a growing number of Republicans and independents as well.
So how important is the independent vote in this election? Emily Ekins is the director of polling at the Cato Institute and joins us now with that answer. Good morning, Emily.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Well, of course, we know the independent vote is very important, but which candidate will the independents support?
Well, right now, the independents are breaking towards Trump if you look at the most recent polls. And the main reason why is that they trust Trump to handle the two issues that the independent voters care the most about, which are national security issues and terrorism, as well as growing the economy and jobs.
All right, so they're not necessarily voting against a candidate. They really like Donald Trump. They're voting for him.
Well, actually, what we see is they dislike both candidates. They just dislike Hillary Clinton far more than they dislike Trump. Now, to be fair, independent voters say they trust Hillary Clinton's temperament. They think that she cares about the issues or cares about the problems that they're facing in their lives. But ultimately, those are not independent voters' priority in this election. What they want is a candidate who's not going to sugarcoat, who's going to won't sugarcoat the threats that are facing our country and keeping our country secure. And right now, they think Donald Trump's more likely to do that.
You know, it's interesting. Even if you throw in the Libertarian candidate, Gary Johnson, we'll put up this full screen, you can see that they still choose Trump. Clinton gets 29%, Trump gets 35%, and then Gary Johnson gets 22%.
That's actually a really high number. That's what's really interesting about this election. Now, I was going to say that independent voters don't always matter in elections. If you look at 2012, Mitt Romney won the independent vote, and he lost the election. John Kerry also won the independent vote in 2004, and he also lost. So winning the independents isn't necessarily decisive in winning the election, but this election cycle, 2016, might be different because of Gary Johnson, because he's a serious third-party candidate, and like you showed on the screen, he's taking about a quarter of the independent vote. So what we want to see is he going to disproportionately take votes from Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump. Right now, he's taking about equally from both.
But what's interesting is he's a little bit more conservative, so you would think a lot of the independents that don't like the conservative movement would all go to Hillary and that maybe she would be winning when you look at those three candidates compared to each other. But that's not the case. Donald Trump is winning.
So you might think that. What's happening is that there are two main groups in the independent cluster. There are a lot of disaffected Bernie Sanders supporters who are very upset with Hillary Clinton. They don't necessarily want to vote for Donald Trump. So they're either going to not turn out or vote for Gary Johnson. And like you said, there are a lot of fiscal conservatives in that independent group who don't really have a candidate to choose from because neither Hillary Clinton nor Donald Trump are very fiscally conservative. So they, too, might be attracted by a Gary Johnson presidency.
Fascinating. Thanks so much, Emily, for joining us this morning. Have a great day.
Thank you.
You're welcome.